Hello everyone, Zeno here. Here to bring part 9 of What If Team RWBY and JNPR went back to red versus blue. Link down description of the fanfiction of this What If. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this is not a scam. Chapter 16, Drink Your Ovaltine. Outpost, 17B, Valhalla. Frank Dufresne and Richard Simmons. Premise, Doc is put into a hostage crisis. Washington gets some answers. Red team gets suspicious about the events in Valhalla. Doc opened his eyes, he felt a sharp pain in his head that soon faded. He noticed Simmons next to him, along with the two guys from before. Ow my head. He groaned, oh. Doc, you're okay. Simmons aided to him, good. Yeah, no thanks to you. He replied bitterly, why'd you hit me? I didn't hit you. Simmons replied, they did. Simmons pointed to the two soldiers standing in front of them. Both were conversing with one another. The dark one is Washington. Simmons explained, he's a freelancer. Great. Doc said, sarcastically, cause HTOSE guys are such a blast to hang out with. The big one, we call the meta. Simmons ended. But rumor had it those guys went to jail. Doc countered. Yeah, well looks like they got paroled. Simmons groaned. You two, quiet. Wash barked at them, having heard the entire conversation. Let us go you freak. A high-pitched voice shouted at Wash. Doc looked to his left to see a face he never thought he'd see again. It was Weiss Schnee of Team RWBY. Along with her was a girl and one other boy. Their hands were cuffed in wrist restraints, and their weapons were lying close to was in the meta. Also nearby, was that unconscious girl he saw before. Weiss. Doc cried, man, I never thought I'd see you again. Hey Doc, great to see you. I guess. Weiss replied, semi-happily back. Aside from church, and on certain occasions Simmons. Weiss also resected Doc, to a degree. So, Doc said to her, how've you been? Well better than now. I said quiet. Wash ordered them. The meta started to make a bunch of growling noises, which caught Wash's attention. Well, stop trying to use them all at the same time. Wash said to him, you don't have any of the AI fragments anymore. AI fragments. Doc repeated, hey, I remember those. Hey Simmons, remember that AI I had for a while. He said to his friend, that thing was crazy. The meta heard what he had said, and walked towards him, growling in the process. Yikes. Doc muttered, as he backed up, Simmons. Help me. Stand down meta. Wash said to his associate, you said you had one. Which one? He asked him. The mean one. Doc shuddered, a little scared. Its name. Wash clarified, yell me its name. O'Malley. I mean Omega. Doc answered, well that one's been accounted for. Wash muttered, I need a complete scan of my friend here. Was explained, gesturing to the meta, and I wouldn't recommend needles, he hates those. Afterwards, he pulled Doc with him, and faced him front of the unconscious girl. Nurse this one back to health. Wash shoved Doc back next to Simmons, what have you done to RWBY? Doc asked him, believing that since Weiss was here, the rest of Team RWBY had to be here as well. You mean the other huntsmen? Wash replied, don't know, they're not here. But that doesn't matter to you. We'll set a trap with these four. You think you're gonna get away with this? Nora questioned him. Yes. Wash replied. Pav changed. Desert Temple. Sarge was currently fiddling with one of CT's old warthogs. Church was also attached to a metal rod, near the back. Alright, let's try this. You ready, antenna ball? Sarge asked Church. I told you guys not to call me that. Church barked at them, and hurried up. This metal rod isn't exactly in a comfortable place. Hey, do you wanna find out about your vision or not? Griff questioned him. The radio then started to make static noises as it came online. Come in Valhalla Outpost number 1. Sarge said, come in. Red base, do you read me? Come in. Give me some more power, shotput. Weiss. Nora. Anybody. Young shouted as well. Sarge. Young. Yeah, hi, a voice said. Who is this? Sarge asked the voice, identify yourself. It's me, Simmons. Simmons clarified, sorry sir. How is everything going over there Simmons? Sarge asked him. Here. Simmons repeated, fine I guess. Everything is good. How about you guys? Mission is complete. We're preparing to head out soon. Sarge explained to him. What was that? Simmons asked him. Sorry, some static here. This radio is a little messed up. Been a bit rainer here. I said, we're coming back soon. Sarge clarified. Oh, that's great. Simmons answered back. When do you think that'll be exactly? Hard to say, Simmons. Sarge replied, we'll let you know. Okay Sarge, sounds good, said Simmons. Over and out. Sarge then ended the call. POV change. Outpost, 17B, Valhalla. Hard to say, Simmons. Sarge replied, we'll let you know. Okay Sarge, sounds good. Simmons said, as he was being held at gunpoint by Wash. Over and out. Sarge then ended the call. Okay good. Now get back over there. Wash order Simmons. Simmons goes back over to Doc and the others. Was that Sarge? Doc asked him. Yeah, Simmons replied. You think they'll help us? No, I couldn't say anything to him. If they come, they'll be walking straight into a trap. Simmons explained. POV change. Desert Temple. Thanks for the help Church. Young said to the monitor as she removed the metal rod from him. Yeah, whatever. Church mumbled, I'm not gonna float straight for a week now. Simmons sounded good. Griff muttered casually, I guess everything is fine over there. Suddenly, Sarge blurted something quite surprising. Donut and Lopez are dead and someone has taken Simmons and the others prisoner. What? The trio replied, quite surprised. But Simmons said everything was fine. Griff countered. Really? Sarge questioned, how do we answer the phone at our base? Thank you for calling Red Base, this Private Griff, how may I be of service? Griff answered in a rather enthusiastic and robotic voice. Wow, love your enthusiasm Griff. Young chuckled. And we've run that drill since day one. But, Simmons answered hi. That was my first clue. Sarge continued. Maybe he's just ups. He also said the radio was in disrepair. Sarge continued, when does Lopez ever let something if it's not in proper maintenance? Never. Griff replied, realizing something wasn't right. Ooh, I think you're onto something Sarge. Young grinned. And look at the time. Sarge continued. Can't, clock is broken. Griff muttered. It's 17:30. Sarge explained, and everyone knows that at 17:30 is Donut's daily wine and cheese hour. Griff cried, now remembering. Wait, he had those. Blake asked, but no one answered her. I didn't hear any tinkling glasses. Did you? He asked Griff. You're right. Griff answered. Wow, not bad Sarge. Young. Thanks, and on top of that. Simmons said the weather was a little rainier. And we all know, Mt. Rainier is the biggest landmass in the state of Washington. We do. Griff questioned, I mean. We do. You sure that's what he meant? John asked. Yes. Sarge replied, and how many Washingtons do we know? A thought came up in Griff's head, did he mean, Agent Washington? Wait, you mean the guy Caboose called for assistance? Young asked, I thought he was your friend. Why would he do that? I don't know. But, who the biggest mass that's associated with Wasington? Sarge asked everyone. Another thought appeared in Griff's head, the Meta. So the Meta and Washington have teamed up to kill Donut and Lopez, and have captured Simmons and Doc. We have to help him. Griff announced, wait, Doc, how do you know if he's there? Please Griff, it's too obvious. Sarge replied, I don't wanna insult your intelligence by explaining every detail. Oh, right, thanks. Griff muttered. I also think Washington must have attacked one of your friends as well. Sarge added, referring to the huntsman. What? John asked, what makes you say that? Because, all your scrolls have been buzzing like crazy for the last 10 minutes, and flashing red. Sarge answered. The three huntsmen took out their scrolls, and noticed that a notification was on the screen. Warning. Huntsman's aura is in red zone. User is in critical condition. Huntsman identified. Pyrrha. John's eyes were wider than usual, his hands were shaking ever so slightly. I'm gonna kill him, he muttered. That's what I thought you were gonna say. Sarge replied, come on, it's time for a rescue mission. Sarge then climbed into the jeep they used before. Griff hopped into the driver's seat, while Young and John were in the back. Hey, Blake asked them, what about me? Just stay here with Ruby and the Blues. Young replied, and the jeep took off. Well, At least they're so peace and quiet now. Blake muttered to herself. Ah, stupid aliens. RWBY is not a snack. Caboose shouted from afar. Hey, back off Smith, RWBY added. And the moment's gone. Blake groaned, and started in the direction of RWBY and Caboose. Unknown to her, Church heard the whole situation with Washington, Valhalla. He then floated in the direction that the Reds, Jaune and Jaune went. Pav change, Pyrrha Nikos. He shot me. He shot me. Why did he shoot me? Pyrrha said to herself, all while still in her unconscious state. But she soon started to hear voices. She should wake up soon. One said. How soon? A second voice barked back. Wait, that was the voice of the man who shot her. Just soon, okay. You can't rush this, the first voice replied. Well, I don't care. The man replied, soon, her cover will be blown. Cover? What cover? What is this guy talking about? She finally started to open her eyes, but everything was blurry. When her vision came, she noticed that she was lying down, on her back. A large bruise was on her chest, but it was fading pretty quickly. Crouching next to her was a soldier, whose armor color was purple. In his hands was some device that was glowing green in the front. What it was, it seemed to ease the pain of the bruise. Hello. Pyrrha said to the soldier, who was caught off guard by her voice. Oh, I didn't know you were up already. He said weakly, how are ya feeling? Fine I guess. Pyrrha replied, where are we? Valhalla. He answered, you were shot, so I was called to tend your wounds. So, you're a doctor? Pyrrha questioned. Actually, I'm a medic. Name's Frank Dufresne, but you can call me Doc. Before she could reply, a voice cut her off, is she up yet? Doc groaned, yes, she's up. Good. The voice said, get her on her feet. She's not in a stable condition to move. Doc countered. I don't care. Just do as I tell you. The voice ordered. Pyrrha then noticed where the voice was coming from. Sure enough, it was the man who shot her, Agent Washington. Forget it. Wash grunted, I'll deal with this myself. Meta, look after the others. That was when finally noticed the Meta was nearby. The brute growled, and looked to her friends, who were just keeping to themselves, until Nora noticed Pyrrha. Pyrrha, you're okay. Nora shouted. Yes Nora, I'm fine. She replied. Quiet, both of you. Wash barked, before looking at Pyrrha, how did you do it? Pyrrha looked confused at him, did what? Honestly. Wash chuckled darkly, this has to be the dumbest idea you've pulled off. What are you talking about? She answered, still confused. Wash pulled out his pistol, don't play dumb with me, Carolina. Quote. Who? Pyrrha honestly didn't know what this guy was talking about, who's Carolina? Luckily for Simmons, the answer got to him first, wait. You think Pyrrha is one of your old freelancer buddies? You're even paranoid than before. Quiet. Wash barked at him, prove it then. Where's my scroll? Pyrrha asked him. Your what? Wash questioned. My scroll, it's a small device that every huntsman owns. Wash then looked at the Meta, who tossed over one of Team JNPR's scrolls. You mean this? Wash asked her, holding up in the air so she couldn't grab it. Yes. Alright. Show me that you're not who I think you are. He said to her, before holding the gun to her head, you got a minute. Within seconds, Pyrrha started looking through her scroll, until she came across her ID. She showed it to Wash. Name, Nikos, Pyrrha. Occupation, huntsman in training. Team, JNPR. Partner, Arc, Jaune. Affiliation, Beacon Academy. Wash analyzed the information for a moment before looking at her, not good enough. Doc then spoke up, if I may. I did a blood scan of Pyrrha just now. It says her DNA doesn't match any UNSC database. Wash sighed. This is awkward. He sighed, he took the scroll from her, and reverted it back to its home screen. It was a picture of her, and some boy with blonde hair. Your boyfriend? Wash asked, showing the screen to her. Pyrrha just looked annoyed, I wish. What's his name? He asked her. Why would you care? She practically snarled at him. Just so that when I hand you over to the UNSC. We know your names, he replied rather darkly. Just then, everything was cut off by a voice. Oh Simmons, where are you? Wash handed the scroll back over to the Meta, who put it with the other 3, in the huntsman's weapons. He took out his battle rifle, and looked through the scope. He noticed something on the eastern hillside near the large wall, a red armored soldier and some girl with long, blonde hair. The meta growled, noticing the two. No, Wash said to him, stay here. I'll deal with him. If I don't make it back, kill the 2 sim troopers. But leave with the 4 huntsmen. With that, Wash left for the hillside. What do we do? Weiss whispered to her fellow captives. I don't know. Ren replied, our aura is down, so we can't go toe-to-toe with the meta. I have an idea. Simmons whispered, Doc, give me your scanner. I think we can overload the power cell, and shoot the meta with it. It should fry his systems. Okay, here. Doc replied, as he handed Simmons his scanner. Either that or, Simmons started to mumble something under his breath, something that Weiss caught onto. Or what? She asked. Oh, nothing, he replied, casually. You were gonna say blow up, weren't you? Nora guessed. Nope. Simmons lied, still tinkering with the medical scanner. Chapter 17. Upon further review. Outpost 17B, Valhalla, 2554. Pav, Sarge and Yang. Premise. Red Team returns to Valhalla to rescue their friends. Church has a moment with the meta. Maroon 1, do you read me? Sarge shouted, asking for Simmons. Yo, Weiss, where'd ya go? Yang added, but Weiss didn't answer. Unknown to them at the time, Wash was sneaking up on them, battle rifle in hand. Freeze. He barked at them, stay where you are. Sarge turned around and noticed Wash. Good, he said to himself, all according to the plan. Well, Sarge chuckled, if it isn't our ghoul old friend Agent Washington. And just what do you think you're doing here? But Wash wasn't playing dumb. Don't play dumb with me, Sarge. He said to him, I think I know why I'm here. Where's the rest of your friends, and the huntsman? Where's Epsilon? Someplace safe. Sarge replied, rather tense. What do you want with me and my friends, you freak? Yang spoke up, Ember Celica now fully deployed around her arms. Ah, so you must be one of them. Wash asked her, faking amusement. Yang. Is it? How do you know that? Yang asked him. From your friend's scrolls. I had the meta search them. He replied. The meta is here? Sarge questioned, despite already knowing that he was in Valhalla. Yes. Wash answered coldly, and he really wants a chance to repay you guys for all the trouble you've caused him. I seem to recall that you also caused him some trouble. Sarge shot back, causing Yang to snicker. Situations changed. Wash explained, now, drop your weapons. Huh, like I'm gonna do that. Yang scoffed at him. Alright. Sarge grunts, as he drops his weapon on the ground. What? Yang looks puzzled at the red soldier, but catches on since Sarge was the one who came up with the plan. Sheeta drops Ember Celica on the ground as well. Was then picked up the weapons. Just so ya know. Sarge spoke up, we're gonna want those back. I said all your weapons. Wash barked at him, noticing that Sarge still had his sidearm. All my weapons? Sarge asked. Yes. Wash answered, now getting annoyed at him. You sure? Maybe I can keep the pistol. You know these aren't effective as they used to be. Sarge countered. Drop it. Now. Sarge then dropped it, and Wash took it, everybody says that. Sarge grumbled, still talking about how ineffective the new M6 was. Good. Now both of you, march. Wash ordered them. Son, you can insult us, or ambush us. Sarge said to him, you can even take away our weapons. But if you think that we're gonna step a few feet inside of Blue Base without our shotguns, you must not know who you're dealing with. Yeah, eat that, Wash. Yang added. I said move. Wash barked again, his weapon trained on both of them. And I said shotgun. Sarge said again. Yes, I have your shotgun. Wash repeated. No, he means shotgun. Yang yelled, facing the wall of the canyon. What is this? Wash asked them, you think I'm gonna give you guys your weapons back? I said shotgun. Sarge yelled at the wall, shotgun, damn it. Just then, a voice was heard on the other side of the wall. Oh, yeah, Shogun. That's our cue. Wash was confused. What? Wait, what are you doing? He started to hear a noise. What is that noise? Do I hear a? Suddenly, some object came bursting through the wall. That object turned out to be a jeep driven by Griff, and John was on the turret. He definitely wasn't happy to see Wash. Car, was what Wash could only say when he was rammed by the vehicle. Sarge and Yang jumped out of the way just in time before they could be hit by it as well. "How's my bumper taste, asshole?" Griff quipped at the ex-freelancer, assuming that he got run over. Unfortunately, Wash didn't, and he climbed onto the front of the Jeep and started to fire rounds at the orange soldier. The latter of which then started dodge the shots, all while driving the car. "Uh-oh," Griff shouted, as Wash shot at him. Griff tried to dodge each shot, which he does. But the car started to swerve violently. Wash then noticed something in the back of the Jeep, a boy in white knight armor, with booze eyes and blonde hair. He was currently manning the turret. "Hey Wash," he said, "knock knock." John started firing at Wash. He missed every shot, which was his idea, since he didn't want to kill Wash, he just wanted to get back at him. The latter panicked upon being shot at, which gives Griff enough time to step on the brakes, thus sending Wash flying off the vehicle. He fires one last round at the vehicle, which misses both Griff and John. As Wash was in the air, Sarge and Yang's weapons flee from his grip, and both landed in the duo's hands. "See," Sarge said to the flying Wash, "told you we get it back." Wash finally landed near a pile of explosives. Dizzy from being struck by a vehicle, shot at, and the hard landing, he struggles to get up. Meanwhile, Griff and John stop the car for Sarge and Yang to get inside. "How about the next time you hose a code word? We choose something you guys don't say every 5 seconds. Griff said to the two, as they enter the vehicle. "Just drive, numbnuts," Sarge muttered, and they drove off to where Wash landed. The latter was still trying to get up, tripping over a fusion coil in the process. Once his V-zone reset, he noticed the Warthog driving past him. Sarge was standing up in the front passenger's seat, his shotgun aimed at one of the fusion coils. Yang was also standing up, flipping him off with both fingers. "Agent Wash," Sarge began. "Son of a bitch," Wash muttered, realizing what was about to happen. "... You just got..." Sarge then fired his weapon. The bullet hit the explosive, setting all the others off, while sending Wash flying away again. "Aw damn it, I messed up my one-liner," Sarge complained, as they headed for Blue Base. "John, you wanna kick Wash's ass? Now's the time," Yang said to her friend. "Alright, I'm on it." John jumped off the moving vehicle, and went off to find Wash. While this was happening, Church floated out of the hole caused by the Warthog, and into Valhalla. I guess they came this way. Meanwhile at Blue Base, Simmons finally finished tinkering with Doc's medical scanner. The latter was currently inspecting the object. "Is it ready?" Weiss asked. "Yeah it is," Simmons replied. "Okay, now's our chance. Hit him with an overshot." "Why don't you do it?" Doc asked him, a little worried. "Me?" Simmons questioned. "I don't know how to use that thing." "Okay, what Weiss, or Ren, or Nora, or Pyrrha?" Doc suggested. I'm scared to use it," Weiss answered. "I have to watch Nora, she's crazy with weapons," Ren explained. "And I'm in no condition to fight," Pyrrha added. Doc sighed and stood behind the meta. The latter was currently looking for Wash. Suddenly, an explosion was seen in the distance. "What the hell was that?" Doc asked, but his voice was loud enough to get the meta's attention. The brute growled in anger at him, and his fellow peers. What do we do?" Doc screamed. "Improvise! Improvise!" Simmons shouted. Doc pulled the trigger on his scanner and a green bolt shot out from the front. The bolt hit the meta as he tried to charge at him. The brute was flung into the wall, but got up instantly. His armor was glitching from the overcharged bolt. He charged once again at Doc, but suddenly, he physically slowed down as he was about to punch him. Doc looked away. "Am I dead? Am I dead?" he asked. "Doc, you did it," Nora said to him. Doc opened his eyes, and noticed that the meta was frozen in place, moving ever so slowly. "He's frozen," he said, astonished. "You must have overloaded his time distortion unit," Simmons guessed. "Instead of making us slow, it made him slow." "Not bad, Doc," Weiss complimented him. "Hey sweet. Score 1 for the pacifist." Doc cheered. Doc," Simmons spoke up, "I wouldn't to close if I were you." "Why? What's he gonna do?" Doc asked. "Beat me up over the course of the next 2 weeks." That last comment made Nora snort a little, while Weiss and Ren rolled their eyes. "Well, Technically he's not moving slower, he's moving at the same speed over a longer period of time. Simmons explained, it's relativistic, we're just experiencing it at a slower rate. But Doc wasn't buying it. Nah, see. The Meta's fist drifted closer to Doc's head. Eventually, it hit him ever so slightly, and he was sent flying. Wooah! Doc yelped, until he hit the wall behind him, and was stuck in it. See. Weiss groaned, that's what happens when you argue with science. Stupid bitch. Simmons muttered to himself, mostly referring both Doc and Weiss. Guys. Doc cried, get me out of this wall. Simmons and Ren walked over to Doc. Let's see. Simmons gazed at the medic. He put his rifle in his back, and started to pull on Doc's chestplate. Ren on the other hand, pulled from Doc's legs. The two struggled to pull him out. Doc just wouldn't budge one bit. Try pulling from the groin, Doc suggested. What? No. Ren replied. They continued this for about a minute, with Nora recording everything from her scroll. This is gold. Nora laughed, as she watched. With Pyrrha doing the same, though she clenched her chest briefly, since she still had a bruise on her. But Weiss wasn't laughing. Her aura was now back up to full health. She summoned a glyph behind Doc, which pushed him out of the wall, and onto Ren and Simmons. Hey, watch it, Simmons said to Doc, not knowing about the glyph. You watch it. Doc shot back. The trio got up, and soon noticed a jeep coming up fast at Blue Base. Simmons. Sarge said from the jeep, where are you? Simmons quickly went on to remove the wrist restraints on the huntsmen and give them their respected weapons. Pyrrha used her weapon to act as a crutch, since she was still weak. They soon noticed that the Meta started to move faster, indicating that the time effects were wearing off. The Brute was starting to read for his Brute shot. Guys. Weiss said, he's getting faster. But it was too late, the effects finally wore off. The Meta grabbed his weapon, and started firing at them. Griff drove by Blue Base, close enough so everyone could jump onto the vehicle. They did so, but it was a tight fit. On top of that, Simmons tried to man the turret, but struggled to get on properly, and was clinging onto the turret for dear life. Simmons. Stop showing off and get in already. Sarge barked at him. This isn't on purpose. Simmons yelled back. He eventually lost his grip on the turret, but managed to grab the rear bumper. He was now being dragged on the ground. No wait. He yelled to everyone, guys. Slow down. Griff ended up driving through the river to avoid the Meta firing at them. This caused Simmons to hang in underwater. What'd he say? Sarge asked. No one is the headed for the hole in the wall. Wait, where's Pyrrha? Weiss asked everyone. Sarge looked back at Blue Base, and noticed Pyrrha was still there, struggling to flee from the Meta. There she is. Sarge shouted. Pyrrha couldn't jump onto the moving vehicle due to her condition. So she ended up dodging all of the Meta's attacks. That was, until she noticed the grab lift. Getting an idea, she jumped into it and she was flung out into the canyon, rolling onto the ground to break her fall. Yes. Go Pyrrha. Nora shouted from the jeep. But the Meta got a similar idea and he too, and jumped into the lift. All in an attempt to intercept the jeep. He started firing at the vehicle, causing Griff to swerve a little. Griff. Incoming. Sarge barked to him, noticing the Meta was getting closer and closer. Don't worry. He replied, we'll just do what we did last time. But before he could do anything else, the Meta flipped in the air and hit the jeep directly in its hood, causing it to flip forward, and everyone in it to fly out of it. All except for Simmons, who was still hanging onto the vehicle's rear bumper. The Meta then rolled off the jeep, turned around, and fired 4 shots at it, destroying the jeep completely. The car rolled on its side, with Simmons still clinging to the bumper for dear life. I'm scared to hold on. But I'm scared to let go. He screamed, as the car rolled over continuously. Griff noticed the destroyed jeep flying right towards him and his friends. So he jumped. Nand pushed both Sarge and Yang out of the way, with Doc doing the same with Weiss, Nora, and Ren. The flaming car finally came to a halt, and crashed into a nearby rock. Simmons fell to the ground with a thud. The Meta walked towards them as he reloaded his brute shot. That was some of the worst driving of all time. Weiss scolded Griff. Because that wasn't driving, Ice Queen. Griff shot back, that was flying and burning. Touché. Sarge commented. Hey guys. Doc said to Sarge and Griff, having not saying hi to them since their arrival. "Hey doc, sup?" the duo replied. Simmons finally got up, now dizzy from the spinning warthog. "Huh. Wah, where am I?" He was still holding onto the piece of bumper, which was now disconnected from the wreckage. Eventually, he got back to his senses and held the piece of rumble as if it was a gun. "Okay, I'm good," Simmons announced. "Get ready," Sarge said to everyone, as he noticed the meta getting closer. Aiming his shotgun at the brute. "This is not gonna end well," Nora muttered. Soon everyone readied their weapons. Griff raised his rifle, Ren took out Stormflower, Noro deployed Maghild into its hammer form. Weiss raised Mighternaster, Yang deployed Ember Celtics around her wrists, and Doc just raised his medical scanner. But they were soon cut off by a voice, "Hey guys, what's up?" Everyone looked up, and Sarge and Griff were surprised to see Church floating next to them. The monitor was currently inspecting the destroyed warthog. "Man, your Jeep got fucked up." Church chuckled. Weiss instantly recognized the voice, Church. Church looked at her, "Oh hey Weiss. Long time no see." "Sure, I guess," she replied. Church then took notice of the meta, "Who's the big dude?" The meta already knew it was the Epsilon AI, so he tried to grab it. But Church dodged it, and the meta growled in response. "Whoa," Church yelped, "you kiss your mother with that mouth." The meta tried again and again to grab the monitor, but failed. Guys," Church asked his friends, "what do I do?" "Lead him away," Sarge replied. "Where?" "Anywhere but here." Church started floating towards Blue Base, with the meta in pursuit. "Hey, check out how shiny I am." Church taunted the brute as he lead him in a goose chase. "What was that thing?" Simmons asked Griff, as he grabbed a rifle from the ground. "Was that Church?" Ren asked as well. "We'll explain later." Sarge replied, "Come on, we need to move." "What about Pyrrha?" Nora asked. "Jaune will look for her." "Just move," Griff answered, and everyone made run for the large hole in the wall. Meanwhile, Church finally reached Blue Base, where he realized that the entranced was very similar to the one the mysterious soldier entered in his vision. "Wait," he said, "this looks familiar." Just then, the meta growled right behind him, scaring him. "Geez, you scared the crap out of me." Church whined, and floated away. As for Pyrrha, she struggled to make her way towards the hole in the wall. Her chest still had a bruise on it. She was at the river near Red Base when gunfire forced her to take cover. Bang, bang. Pyrrha jumped behind a rock, and peeked over the top. Wash was rushing towards her, pistol in hand. She threw Milo in its spear form at the ex-freelancer. But Wash dodged it, jumped at her, and shoved her to the ground. "If I can't bring you in alive, then I'll bring you all in dead." Wash snarled at her, as he pointed his pistol at her. But before he could perform the fatal blow, someone shoved him in his side, and he fell down the hill, and into the river. Once he got up, he recognized who attacked him. It was the boy from Pyrrha's scroll. Jaune took out his sword and shield, he swung furiously at Washington. With the latter trying with all his might to dodge him, but was exhausted to do so. Thus, resulting in him getting hit in the head, and almost the groin. Though he did manage to dodge that last attack. Soon got the advantage, he disarmed Jaune, and uppercutted him. "Jaune!" Pyrrha cried to her partner. Jaune got up instantly, he noticed a nearby fusion coil, and got an idea. He charged at Wash at full speed, but the latter kicked him to the side again. Jaune attacked again, this time at his legs. Wash fell to the ground, and Jaune enchanced his leg with his aura, and kicked Wash towards the fusion coil. Wash got up, exhausted after what had happened so far. "You think you'll get away with this?" he asked him. "Yes," Jaune replied. It was the same answer was gave to Nora earlier. Jaune then raised Wash's pistol that stole from him after attacking his legs, and shot the Fudian coil, which blew up next to Wash. Wash was flung towards Jaune, and landed right in front of him. Wash wanted to get up again, but just laid there in defeat. Jaune then took a pair of wrist restraints from Wash and put them around the ex-freelancer's wrists. "Now," Jaune began, "like you said, I could take you in alive or dead. And I choose alive," he taunted before punching Wash out cold. He then dragged Waz's unconscious body back to where Pyrrha was hiding. The redhead practically jumped on top of him when he came back in one piece. "Jaune, are you okay?" she asked him. "I'm fine," he replied. "It's you who's injured." Are you okay? I'm better now. She chuckled before noticing Wash, what are doing with him? There must be a reason for why he captured you and the others. Better we question him rather than leave him here, he explained. Pyrrha nodded in agreement and the duo made their way towards the wall. Meanwhile, Sarge and the others finally made it to the other side of the wall. Come on. Everyone through the hole. Ah, just saying that makes Miss Donut. Sarge sighed as the passed through. You do know we passed his body on the way here, right Sarge? Weiss countered. Doesn't matter, he's dead already, and we got the meta on our tail. Sarge explained. Good point. Nora then noticed the hole. We have to wait for Pyrrha and Jaune. I see them. Griff replied, it looks like they're dragging Wash's body over here. Church then showed up, having been leading the meta on a wild goose chase around Valhalla. Hey, I know he's a friend of yours, but I gotta tell you that guy with the shiny head is kinda an asshole. Well, if you're here, Yang said to him, then that means. Oh no, there's the meta. Simmons ended, we have to hurry. We have to seal the opening. Weiss suggested, do we have any explosives? Negative, Sarge replied, we need a plan of action. Just then, an idea came to Griff. I have an idea. He then walked up to Church. Hey, you, dipshit. Griff. Weiss yelled at him. Huh, you taking to me? Church asked him. Yeah, you. Griff ranted, this is your fault you stupid piece of junk. You got us in this mess. Me. It was your we had to rescue. Church shot back. Ah, bullshit. Griff snorted, now the meta's coming up here and he's gonna kill us all. What are you doing Griff? Yang asked him, while still laughing at his ranting. I wasn't even looking for you guys. Church countered, I was. Sarge then realized what Griff was doing, the same with Yang. Oh I get it. They said at the same time. They both walked up to Church, and started throwing every insult they had at them. Can it you overgrown ornament? I'm not done with you ball bearing. Your mother takes it in the exhaust port. Come on guys, help us out. Griff said to the others. We don't even know what you're doing. Simmons answered. You mother gets pounded like a pinball. Yang continued. Hey, leave mothers out of this. Church shot back. Guys, we need some insults. Yang said to them. Okay. Simmons walked up to them, but instead of saying insults at Church, he said insults to his team. Griff, you're so fat you broke your arm. Gravy came out. Sarge, I find your plans useless, and if not mediocre. Weiss, you're bitchy and rude. Hey, Weiss yelled. Not insults for Simmons. Sarge explained, for him. Please tell me what's going on. I just got here. Simmons countered. This isn't working. Yang groaned, we something that'll make him mad. Has he seen the last episode of The Sopranos yet? Simmons suggested. The what? Nora asked. You guys are idiots. Church sighed. Suddenly the meta growled in the distance. Oh, there's the big dude. Church cried. Just then, Jaune and Pyrrha exited through the hole, both were dragging Wash's unconscious body. And there's, Church began, noticing the two huntsmen. Agent Carolina. And then he noticed Washington. Church's eye turned red, and was ready to fire in both Pyrrha and Wash. But Yang managed to jump, and turn Church towards the wall. The laser then fired and thus, deliberately blocking the meta from catching them. What was that? Nora shouted, that was so cool. Yeah, Ren added, really cool. Aw man, that was scary. Doc muttered, too much violence. Church's eye turned blue again, what? No, I have to go back. Go back. Weiss cried, are you insane? He'll find her. Church replied, he'll find Pyrrha. Church's eye went dark, and he fell to the ground. Church. Yang shouted as she ran up to the monitor, lying on the ground. What happened to Church? Jaune asked her, as he helped Pyrrha walk with him. I don't know. Yang replied. Griff then spoke up, I guess he's out of juice. He's had a hard day. Sarge ended, come on, let's get moving. The meta might be able to break through that faster than Griff can eat. Yang then picked up Church and everyone followed Sarge back to the desert. Nora then asked a question about Church. So is that thing like a pet? She asked them. Yeah, something like that. Griff replied. Sarge then took notice of Wash's body being dragged by Jaune. Here, I got him. He said to Jaune, you watch your friend. Thanks. Jaune replied, as he put his arm around Pyrrha to help her stand. Though he was completely unaware that the redhead's face turned pink when he did so. Sarge dropped Wash over his shoulder, and asked Jaune a question. Why are we bringing Wash with us? He asked him. There's got to be a reason for why was once captured us. Jaune explained, everyone has a reason. Alright, Sarge replied, we'll interrogate him once he gets up. And with that out of the way, the group blaked back with saying another word. And this the end of part 9 this what if. I hope you guys like it. Don't really leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel.